Hi Year 2, welcome to your lesson today about taking initiative. So you're going to listen to me read you a story called Time to Get Started, and it's a story about learning to take initiative with a little boy called Blake. Hi everyone, Blake here again. Do any of you kids like to play video games? Well, I sure do. I get to chase bad guys, race cars and play sports on my gaming system. I have a blast doing it. Well, that is, until a kid's worst nightmare happens. Blake, time to get started. My mum yells, Blake, time to get started on this and that. Can't adults leave us alone and let us have some fun? It happened just the other day. I was all into this game and heard Mum say, Blake, time to get started cleaning your room. Play video games or clean my room? Yeah, that's a hard choice. So I ignored my mum and kept playing. Before long, Mum was right in front of me. She turned the game off and said those words again. Time to get started. She told me Grandma helped her learn to take initiative on things that means get started by following 4 easy steps. 4 steps to take initiative. 1. Focus on what needs to get done. 2. Figure out what's stopping you. 3. Come up with a plan and get started. 4. Ask for help if nothing else works. Mum asked if I had completed step 1. Yeah, I know I need to clean my room. I'll do it later. Mum said, you say that a lot, but it rarely gets done. Focusing on it means you put all your attention on that task. Now look at step 2. Step 2, there are many reasons why kids don't start their work. Like what? Well, sometimes people are worried about doing it the right way, or maybe they're having a hard time paying attention. Sometimes they just don't want to do it, or sometimes they think the task is too hard. Mum asked, why do you think you didn't get started on cleaning your room? Because it's too hard. Nice try, bud, but I'm pretty sure you just don't want to do it. How can parents read our minds? Mum asked, do you think I'm going to let you not clean your room? No. Right, so you might as well do it and be done so you can go do the fun things that you like. Mum helped me with step 3. Step 3, come up with a plan and get started. We started by making up a game. We called it Dirty Clothes Basketball, where we tossed all my dirty clothes into the hamper. Then we set off a timer for 5 minutes to see if we could do it in that amount of time. I made the winning Dirty Clothes 3-pointer just as the time expired. I guess that really wasn't that bad because then I got to do something that was really fun. The next day at school, my teacher, Mrs. Stelly, introduced us to something called multiplication. Whoa, that sounds like a grown-up word. Mrs. Stelly kept showing us example after example, but it still made no sense. Then she passed out a multiplication paper for us to work on by ourselves. I tried looking at the wall and out of the window, but nothing was helping. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Mrs. Stelly looking at me and my paper. Here we go again. I knew what she was going to say. Blake, it's time to get started. Your mum told me about your plan. Try to complete step 1. Focus on what needs to be done. So I looked at my paper again, thinking about the problems. Great. Now look at step 2. Figure out why you didn't start. I bet I can guess why you haven't started. Wait, my teacher also knows all the reasons kids don't get started on things? Mrs. Stelly said, sometimes kids think multiplication is too hard. More like impossible. I know it might feel that way, but let me help you. When you feel like things are too hard, the first thing you need to check is whether or not you know what to do. If you don't, you can ask for clarification and help. Do you know what to do on this paper? The only thing I know to do on this paper is to write my name. Okay, let me help. Blake, a lot of multiplication involves using addition. For example, look at the problem number 1, 5 times 2. All that really means is 2 groups of 5. Can you count by 5s 2 times? Yeah, I said. 5, 10. Easy. After a few more problems, I was on a roll. I guess multiplication really isn't that hard. Nothing could stop me from starting my work now. I was becoming a work machine. The next day, Mrs. Stelly asked us to write about our favourite vacation. I closed my eyes and remembered the time we went to the click, click, click. Seriously, what was that noise? I looked over and our pet hamster, Hammy, was drinking from his water bottle. Dude, shh! Apparently hamsters don't understand English because he kept drinking and drinking, and then I heard those words again. Time to get started. I looked straight at Mrs. Stelly. It's not my fault. You need to go and talk to Hammy. He's being annoying. Mrs. Stelly explained that sometimes people don't get started on their work because they're distracted. How could we make this situation better? Tape Hammy's mouth shut. Huh? No, that would hurt him. What if I moved him out of the room or moved to another desk? I guess I can try that. I decided to sit on the other side of the room. It didn't take long before I was remembering my favourite vacation, sitting on top of a mountain about to go dirt biking. Next time someone is bugging me, hopefully it will be a person and not a hamster, so I can ask them to stop. If not, I'll just ask if I can find another place to work, like I did this time. Dirt biking was awesome. Phew. My friend Blake is close by. Yay! That night, my brother, Braden, was making an All About Me poster for school. All he had to do was glue pictures on his poster. Seriously, how hard can that be? Dude, it's time to get started, I said. I can't. What's the problem? I knew this wasn't too hard for him, and it seemed like he wanted to do it. I had no clue why he wasn't getting started, so I asked him. I don't want to mess it up. Braden was worried about not doing his poster the right way. Mum said she was glad he wanted to do well, but he was acting like a perfectionist. Apparently that's someone who feels they have to be perfect. Don't they realise everyone makes mistakes? Mum talked to Braden and told him he just needed to do his best, and that if he messed up, no big deal. Mistakes are fine as long as we learn from them. I decided I would help him come up with a plan. Braden was worried that if he glued the pictures in the wrong spot, it wouldn't look good. I reminded him that he could lay out his pictures without gluing them first to see what it was going to look like. And that's all it took. Next thing I knew, he was on a roll and finished up really fast. Braden's poster turned out great, and that's probably because he had a picture of his awesome brother on it. That weekend, after I'd done with my chores, my friends and I went to play baseball in my jungle. Seriously, the grass was up to my knees. Dad, weren't you supposed to mow the backyard 3 weeks ago? I guess I need to show my dad what to do when it's time to get started.
Taking initiative. There won't always be someone to tell you what to do in life, so you'll need to show that you can be proactive, whether it's identifying what needs to be done first or offering someone else some help. Taking initiative is a great skill to develop. So top tips to take away from our story. Don't just sit and wait when you finish your work. Ask yourself, what should I do next? If you have the time and skills, you could maybe ask somebody else if you could help them with their understanding. And this is particularly nice when we work in our talk partners in mathematics. Be creative. Coming up with ideas and researching is great if you're passionate about something. Start working towards solutions independently. Using a process of elimination can help you to solve problems. And again, this is especially true in mathematics and in science. Taking the simple initiatives, like seeing that the rubbish bin is full and it needs to be taken out. Rather than waiting for a parent to do it, maybe you could offer to help. And it might be the same with your uniform. If you know that your uniform is in a dirty pile, in a mess in your bedroom, and you're going to need to wear a uniform tomorrow, does it need to be washed? Could you help? It might be a case of suddenly starting to think that it's not your mum or dad's responsibility to do everything, and that you need to take some responsibility for your own actions. And this is most common when children say to me, "My mum forgot." and it happens a lot in the mornings. My mum forgot to put my gloves in my book bag. My mum forgot my packed lunch. My mum forgot to put my reading book in my bag. My mum forgot to tell me I needed to wear my tie. Now, as you get older, you'll need to stop saying, my mum forgot, because actually these are things you need to be accountable for and responsible for. And you need to take the initiative to think, oh, I haven't got my tie on. I need to put my tie on. Or, oh, I haven't got my reading book today. I should check it's in my book bag before I leave home. So it's thinking about what you can do to accomplish everything that you need. And it all starts with believing that no one is always going to be there to do everything for us, and that life will be a lot easier if we take initiative and help ourselves. So if you were to spill your drink at dinner time tonight, what would be the best thing for you to do if you were taking the initiative? Would it be to wait for somebody else to clear it up, or would it be to try and clear it up yourself? Remembering that if you struggle, it's still okay to ask for help. Other ways that you can take initiative. What can you do that's going to make everything easier in your own life? We are going to be creating a poster now for children who might be struggling to take initiative themselves. And we're going to use the 4 steps that we read in the story to create a poster. Now, the poster might be to help somebody clean their room, to do their homework or spellings, or if they see something wrong, to do something right and to put it right. And that might be, for example, if you saw some litter around the school, you might think, oh, somebody's made a really bad choice there, but I'm going to do the right thing. And you might take the initiative to look after the environment and to pick it up and to look after our local community. It's very similar to practicing an instrument. It's very easy to take a weekly lessons, whether it's singing, piano, or any sort of sport that you do during the week, and then forgetting about it and putting off practicing. Now, you would need to think, what's actually stopping me practice? Why am I going for lessons if I don't want to practice? So what is it about the lessons that are stopping you from then practicing during the week? And then how can you come up with a plan to get started? Because you know you won't get better if you don't practice. Exactly the same for your spellings and your homework. I really hope you enjoy making your poster and that maybe you can use it within your own experience of becoming a child that uses their initiative.
Okay, so this poster here has a hook on it that says, are you struggling to complete tasks? Now we know that we're making a poster that is going to offer advice to someone that's struggling to get started. So I'm using a hook here, a question, so that if anyone was to see my poster, they might think, oh, actually that's me, and then you've grabbed their attention. So I'm going to include on my poster the 4 steps to take initiative that we looked at in the storybook. And I'm also going to think about a particular time when I might struggle. And I'm going to think back to probably being about your age when I used to struggle to get motivated to do my homework. So I'm going to create a poster about completing my homework. So are you struggling to complete tasks? And I'm going to draw down the bottom here, I'm going to draw a desk. I'm sure you're going to be much better at drawing a desk than me, and that's my desk. Okay, so I've got a desk there, and I'm going to draw somebody sitting at a desk, and they're going to be reading a book. I'm just going to do a stick drawing. And they're going to be sitting on a chair. So they're sitting on their chair. Okay, so they're sitting at their desk. So this is somebody that's struggling to do their homework and they're not very happy. Why are they struggling to do? In fact, let's make it a bit more like me. Let's give it some curls. And why are they struggling? Well, that's one of the steps, isn't it? First of all, you have to work out what needs to be done. So, step 1, work out what needs to get done. And I know that when I was in this situation, I knew, oh, I need to get that done. And you do know you need to get it done, don't you? But that doesn't mean you want to do it. So the second step is to figure out, well, why am I not doing it? So figure out what's stopping you. And then that takes us on to 3, which is to get started. Have a plan. Get started. Which leaves us with number 4, which is asking for help if we really can't think of another way. So I've got my steps here of what I'm going to do if I am struggling and how I can use my initiative. And then I've got my unhappy person here. So if this was me, I've worked out that I need to do my homework. I've realised that maybe I don't want to do it because I think I'm going to find it difficult. I need to plan how I'm going to get started. Maybe that will be by reminding myself how good I'm going to feel once it's done, or how much more knowledge I might have and my learning and understanding will improve. And finally, if I get started and I still can't do it and I'm really struggling and I've already tried to use my initiative, I could still then ask for help. So I'm looking forward to seeing your posters. Your posters might not involve homework. You might come up with a different poster entirely. This is just one idea that's now available for you to help you get started with your own poster.